to the ball game. Take me out to the ground.
Good morning. Welcome to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Today, as we try to get you caught up in the world of sports with just a few news and notes as the world keeps spinning, whether you're paying attention to it or not. Last night in Tokyo, the U.S. women's national team, they were upset by Sweden, ending their unbeaten run in the Olympics. The Olympics did kick off yesterday, whether people were paying attention to it or not. Opening ceremonies, by the way, will be Friday morning, but that will get us going there today as they lose 3-0. I watched a little bit of they were absolutely dominated. And the key thing that a lot of people are going to be talking about, because they're still virtue signaling, they're still trying to get everybody's attention, is this. Before the game, they played the anthems, or I couldn't tell what they were playing, but there was some music playing, and I believe it was the tail end of Sweden's anthem, possibly. It was not the U.S. anthem, but the coverage came in at the tail end as they were about to start the game. And everyone on the field, every damn one of them on the field, whether it was the U.S. or Sweden, they were all kneeling. So get ready for this, because you're going to have a bunch of this junk in the Olympics. I think you're going to see more of it, because they all want to make sure that that they are not getting canceled. So anyways, U.S. gets their ass kicked 3-0. And I'm sure there's some people out there who aren't going to care, because if you're not going to stand for the national anthem, they're not going to pull for you. But I'm on the fence about that. I still want to see the U.S. do well. I just I don't like the antics and all this is at this point, it's show business. They're just out there doing these goofy antics to try to get people's attention so that maybe they can get a shoe deal. All right. Other things going on in the world of sports. Did you see this? Alabama, Nick Saban said that Bryce Young, who is a quarterback for Nick Saban, who has never taken a snap in college football, he hasn't even been named the starter yet. It's assumed, but we don't know. The Alabama Crimson Tide starting quarterback, according to Saban, has signed deals to endorse up to about $1 million. He didn't give a specific number, but he said about 7 figures. Now, who knows if he's doing this to kind of help his brand, because immediately after that, he said, this is happening because our brand is so strong. He was at a meeting with Texas high school football coaches, so he was pounding his chest and whatnot. But you know what he's doing? He's telling those coaches that so they go back and tell their kids that, and those kids want to go play for Alabama. Now, I think kids are going to be able to do this across the board, but Alabama is going to have a leg up, because when this thing kicks off, as it did on July 1st, Alabama right now is considered the top program in college football. They're coming off a national championship, and of course, they've been dominant for years. So we'll see how others respond, but it's asinine that they've given this kid close to $1 million. The only one that we could figure out who they absolutely, or he is absolutely signed a deal with, was Cash App, but there's got to be others. So we're not 100% sure who the others are, but we do know that more are coming. So you'll be seeing this for, I'm surprised we haven't heard about this kind of stuff with Spencer Rattler of Oklahoma. Why we haven't heard about this stuff, even on the lower ends. Emory Jones of Florida, he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't proved anything yet, but Florida was a pretty good team last year. So is it coming for him? I do know Milton, the UCF transfer that went to Florida State, he has signed a deal. I believe that was with Cash App as well, but what these deals are for, how much they're for. And I'm sure as the teams go and continue to win, it's going to absolutely get higher and higher. Your team continues to win. You start endorsing things. It's going to become mayhem. And what happens when you're making all the money and your offensive linemen, your linebackers, your special teams kids, all those kids aren't making a dime? that wealth isn't spread. And so, well, kids start laying down on and go, you know what? I'm not going to play this weekend. Why? I'm just not making any money, man. These strikes are going to happen internally much faster than I first predicted. When this first came out, I said it would be a few years. I think you're going to see something happen this year. You're going to see someone dip the hell out because they're going to be pissed off that Johnny's making $1 million and Bobby isn't making a single dime, and they're both playing football for the same program. All right. So that is strike number 2. Strike number 1, obviously, was the women's national team. We're going to start doing this, making this concise, and do 3 stories, and then we'll hit you with we'll hit you with the end of the show. Sorry, tongue got tied. I saw something flash across the bottom screen. I thought it was important, but it was not. Naomi Osaka, you see this? So she was on the cover of Vogue. She says she's avoiding the media, multiple magazines, covers. She is going to be one of the, I guess they're doing several covers this year. She's going to be one of the covers in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit. The swimsuit edition comes out in August. She's going to be one of the covers. It's her. There's another girl that I don't know who she is, lady. There's another lady that she's a rapper or a singer or something. I don't know who she is. And then the third one is a transgender woman, someone who I don't know. See, and this is the thing that they never tell you: is it someone who's actually gone through the surgery, or is it just someone who identifies as a woman? But anyways, I'm sure you can find the pictures online if it really intrigues you. But this is where Sports Illustrated is going, is that they are trying to shock the world. So someone will buy their terrible magazine that hasn't been relevant in 20 damn years. I quit reading it about 30 years ago. It was just about 30 years ago when I noticed it was right before they came after Florida State with the Free Shoes University. And I make no bones about it that I'm a Florida State fan, but they had done a couple of other things to a couple other colleges right before that. And I had already, as a kid in the 80s, I had a subscription. It's what I asked for my birthday as a little kid, my entire childhood. And then I'm trying to remember what that story was, but there was something that happened in the very early 90s. And I want to say Miami was involved, but it might have been someone else. But the point was, what I saw over the next several months was a continuance of Sports Illustrated turning into a gossip rag. And that's how they made their money for the next 10-ish, 15-ish years. They would try to pop any story they could pop, and they would dive into it. They would throw anyone under the bus. It was really nasty journalism. And that was about 15 years, for about the 90s into the mid 2000s. And now with the internet, they've become extremely irrelevant, because all Sports Illustrated's ever been, even at the height, was they were in-depth articles about something, whatever the hell it was about something, usually well-written articles. Even if it was some junk you didn't care about, they were well-written articles. Now they are going to this nonsense. And so with that being said, it'll be interesting to see people continue to buy Sports Illustrated. Like I said, I haven't purchased Sports Illustrated in 30 years. But here's the other thing. Megyn Kelly went after Naomi Osaka because it was very obvious what the hell she did. She's over here crying and whining about how she doesn't want to be involved with the media to get her mental health together and blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to be interviewed at the French Open, and I don't want to be interviewed at the Wimbledon. So I dipped out of Wimbledon, et cetera, et cetera. And yet she's on every damn cover of every magazine this year. Osaka came back and fired back, said something to the effect of "be better. I took these pictures long before." That doesn't matter. You're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs, because if you had that big of a problem with the media, you would go back and say, take me off the cover. I don't want to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Because when you go on the cover of Sports Illustrated, it's going to get you more media attention. So you're talking out both sides of your mouth, and literally she comes off as a liar. She comes off as very disingenuous and a liar. And I think a lot of people are kind of fed up with her shtick. But Megyn Kelly called it perfectly. She says she doesn't like questions she can't control. And if she didn't hit the nail on the head there, good job by Megyn Kelly. She nailed it on the head. She can't control what's going to be asked of her, can't control how she's perceived. Because remember, she whined about when she beat Serena Williams, how she felt bad because it was her idol. Most kids say, hell yeah, I beat my idol. That's awesome. I am now the king. I am now the queen, whatever you want to say. But instead, she backstroked the hell out of it. And just not a very likable person. Not a very likable person at this point. Hopefully she gets it turned around, but I don't see how. I guarantee you she's going to be on every damn billboard in Tokyo in the Olympics. You know she's going to lean into that. Yeah, there used to be a word for people like that. We just called them asses, a real ass. And I mean, seriously. Anyways, NBA Game 6 last night. You got your NBA champions are the Milwaukee Bucks. So congratulations to them. Giannis, the MVP, well-deserved. And Cam Akers, torn Achilles. He is out for the Rams. He was going to be the guy in the backfield, so adjust your fantasy football accordingly. But that is a tough blow, not just for the Rams, but for Cam Akers. Really, really good kid, and I really hate to see that. Also, before we get out of here real quick, we're going to hit you with something. First of all, it's National Hot Dog Day. So make sure that you grab yourself a hot dog. You got a lot of double headers. You got a lot of day games in Major League Baseball today. But on this date in 1921, the Indians and Yankees hit 16 doubles collectively to make a new American League record. 9 of those came from Cleveland, 7 from the Yankees, 17-8 in 1921. We were just coming out of the dead ball era. 1921 is just as we're leaving the dead ball era. That was about the time that they opened up the new Yankee Stadium. I believe that was the year, but we were just coming out of the dead ball era. 16 doubles, 17-8 scored. That was not a common thing back in the day to have such a high scoring ball game. All right, get yourself a hot dog, go to the game today, get yourself to any game, or at least get yourself on the couch and go to the game virtually. We will see you tomorrow. Take yourself out to the ball game. Have a great day, folks.
Take me out to the ball